It's time for Declare Your Independence with Ernest Hancock.
Believe me when I say we have a difficult time ahead of us. But if we are to be prepared for it, we must first shed our fear of it. I stand here without fear because I remember that I am here not because of the path that lies before me, but because of the path that lies behind me. I remember that for 100 years we have fought these machines. And after a century of war, I remember that which matters most. We are still here! Tonight, let us make them remember we are not afraid! No fear here on Declare Your Independence with me, Ernest Hancock, here in the BEA beautiful studios of Freedoms of the Nest, freedomsphoenix.com here in Phoenix, Arizona at the farm. Now, we have, in the last hour, we had on Angela Keaton from antiwar.com giving her perspective on the anti-war movement, where we're going, where she's marketing, how she's having an impact, and a speech that she gave in New Hampshire, along with our next guest, Dr. John Walsh. Now, let me introduce Dr. Walsh. He's professor of microbiology and physiological systems at the University of Massachusetts Medical School. He's a graduate of Harvard Medical School, so the boy's got skills. Now, the thing is that I want to make sure that you understand, John, what we're focusing on here. Angela gave a speech where she started off saying that libertarians need to check their libertarianism at the door. And we need to focus on this anti-war thing, and all that other stuff will just, work itself out after we stop killing people en masse. So I'm going, I from someone from the left and, talking to you, reading your bio, understanding where you've come from, that you certainly approach politics from what most would consider a left perspective. Government has a role in whatever it is that you believe, and we may get into that. But my point is that can the left do the same thing? Can they set aside all the things that they wanted to do with the money savings from the empire, bringing its tentacles back home, and then Lord knows what's going to happen then. But, the first thing is stop killing people. So, Dr. Walsh, help me out. Go ahead, and I want you to address that right off the top. Can the left focus along with the rest of us, as you refer to them, paleoconservatives, the people that were more back in the olden days, kind of, we were anti-war, and this neoconservative thing, I don't know where the heck that came from, but the whole thing is that we have been a long time against war. The libertarians, a lot of conservatives, and now we want to wrap arms and legs around our newfound anti-war left buddies. Is that possible? And give me your opinion.
Well, first of all, it's really nice to be here, and it made me think your opening of no fear. That is so important, and I think in our daily lives we forget that a lot. That you can't, anybody who acts out of fear unnecessarily, or even unless your back is to the wall, such a person is going to end up not doing the right thing. So I think that's a wonderful thing to emphasize. So to answer your question, I guess I wouldn't quite agree with Angela that we have to leave everything else at the door. I don't want people who have other beliefs on the right, who are anti-war and who work together with the left, to be quiet about those other beliefs. I think people should speak up and say what they believe in. I just don't think that those other beliefs on right or left, as much as we speak about them, should stand in the way of making common cause for something we both believe in. That's just stupid. The more I think about it, the harder it is for me to understand that. If you have something that you want, that you can get by getting together with other people with whom you have some disagreements, then why would you not do that? I mean, we're getting to the point where we're dealing more with theology than politics, and I really don't understand that. So that's number one. People shouldn't, and as a matter of fact, I think both sides will learn something. As a matter of fact, since I've been working with people on the libertarian side of things, which is, 2005, I've learned a hell of a lot. And I think others could too. I think people should be open-minded. So that said, I think, yes, you're right, that the left is going to have a tremendous difficulty and is having a tremendous difficulty with this whole idea of the right-left coalition. Now, not every lefty is having a problem with it, but I think I'm looking here at I have on my computer screen today's issue of Counterpunch, which is a left-wing, counterpunch.com, a left-wing website, which is anti-war, and has also pushed for the idea of a right-left alliance. At least its editor has. But I'm looking through this here, and today there's I'm viewing this now from a very practical point of view. I'm viewing this from the point of view of the only anti-war candidate we have around, and that's Ron Paul. There isn't anybody else. He is it. There's nobody on the Democratic side. There's only one on the Democratic side. He's sure not against war. And Romney and the ex-ambassador to China and Bachmann, and to me, they're clones. I don't see, and they're clones of Obama too. I don't really see on this issue, and frankly on other issues either, any big difference. So here's Ralph Nader writing this piece. And what's he say? He says, President Obama should realize that his back-of-the-hand attitude to his liberal and progressive supporters who sent him to the White House can have consequences. He believes they have nowhere to go, but they do. They can stay home in 2012, as many did in 2010, to the detriment of the Democrats and many congressional races. Well, is that the best that he can suggest that we do in 2012 is stay home? There's another article here by David Lindorf, blowing it, how the Democrats are sinking themselves. Same thing, stay home. Another one by V.J. Prashad, a guy who, like Nader, I respect greatly, and what does he say? He says, we've got to forget about electoral politics for now, stay home. Well, and I've been involved in a discussion with the last of these, Vijay, and he's not he has been unable to argue successfully why we shouldn't back Ron Paul. So I think there is a real problem here. I'm sure there's a problem on both sides, but the problem, I think, is looking the left right in the eye because of this upcoming election. And in New Hampshire especially, where I think Ron Paul needs to make a breakthrough, we have to bring some independents and some people who normally vote Democrat into the primary on the Republican side if Paul is to make some breakthroughs. So, yes, I think the left has tremendous problems. It's not going to be easy. And
let me go ahead and make my point this way, and maybe you can tell me whether this rings true or not, is that when there is some opportunity for us to stop the war, usually it comes in the form of some type of legislation such as, defunding it. That usually is how this winds up happening.
Yes.
When that does, they'll go, okay, well, to get the coalition together in the left end, kind of, all right, we're going to take this savings, and a significant portion of that savings, 33.3%, goes to fill in the blank progressive cause because it's the only way you're going to get our vote and support of blah, 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 blah. That's where the politics starts coming in. And that's, kind of the point that I'm wondering how it is that we're going to be in a situation when that happens. Can you get the paleoconservatives and the libertarians in support of something like that? And will the coalition break down? And I'm hoping that, people in the influential positions such as you, Dr. Walsh, you can go, look, keep all that stuff out to the side because we're focusing on stopping the war first. Well, we'll talk about more here on Declare Your Independence with me, Ernest Hancock, and Dr. John Walsh when we come back in just a little bit.